go back a little bit because I feel when you all first came in and I said a welcome, it was a really kind of a gloomy welcome. Part of the reason was that the microphone wasn't working and my voice doesn't carry very far. But I want to really warmly welcome you. I am so touched that I see all of these people. We put a call out and I was kind of afraid nobody was going to come, and people actually came. We're running out of space in this room, and we had to ask Sarah Malone to put in some extra seating, and she was great about that. So, when I look around this room, I feel so touched, and just, because everything that we do at Mountain West Digital Library is a community effort. We cannot exist without you, without your work, creating those wonderful collections, your digitization efforts, and even people who are connected with the physical content, and they're looking to get the content digitized and make that available for the common good. And then we're lucky, we go in, we aggregate all of that, and then we make it available on our portal, but we cannot do that without you. So I actually, yesterday when I opened my presentation, I began with a quote that this group reminded me of, and it's the same quote I'm going to use today. And people from yesterday, please don't try to guess who the quote is by, and nobody Google. Let's watch those fingers. So, alone we can do so little, and together we can do so much. Who's it by? It does sound like her, doesn't it? That's Helen Keller. So, but anyway, this conference and this group reminds me of the saying, and so we really cannot do this in a silo. All right, so, and I'm sure most of you know me, but again, I'm Kinza Masood. I am the director of the Mountain West Digital Library. Before this, I was with the Marriott Library for, I feel like, a very long time, I think 16 years, 15 years, something like that. And I worked very closely with the Mountain West Digital Library community. It was very engaging. And I've been here for about 1.5 years now. Teresa Hebron, she has been with the Mountain West Digital Library since the beginning of the year, and she is this amazing unicorn who understands technology, and she understands how systems work together, and she also understands metadata, so, wonderful to have her on board. She's also actually working 25% for the Department of Heritage and Arts, so the collections that are actually marked for ingest into the Mountain West Digital Library portal through the Marriott Library collections. She's also working on auditing some metadata for them there. And so for that, she actually reports to Anna Neertrauer, and she is also collaborating a lot with Heidi Talk on projects. And I'm also sure, well, actually, no, I'm forgetting some very important people over here. Keegan Dome, he is the metadata assistant for Mountain West Digital Library. He has been with us for just a few months. He reports to Teresa Hebron. He helps Teresa with metadata auditing, and so when you mark your collections for ingest, they come to us. He's sort of the first line of fire, and he will go through and do some checks. He is a student at the University of Utah studying applied mathematics, and he is also studying Russian language, and right now he's in Kyrgyzstan and for a study abroad program, and he should be back in August. He does a lot of social media outreach for us as well. We have John Wiggins. He is a CS major, and he has been here with us for over a year. And he is our only web developer. He has done an amazing job of creating our new website. We have designed it as a department, but he's really who's done all of the work. And it is actually a fabulous site. It is based on modern programming standards. He went in and cleaned up a lot of the redundancy in the code, and he has applied conformance to Google. So we should be getting good page ranks now, and we still have to study that data and see where we're at. And unfortunately, he is leaving, so we're right now also interviewing for his replacement. He has a research assistantship appointment set up to begin in the fall semester. A little bit about Mountain West Digital Library. I know you all, or most of you know what we do, but because we have new faces here today, and this day is also open to the community, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about exactly what it is that we do. So again, we're a community effort, and we are a central repository for digital collections, and that involves institutions that fall outside the purview of just the academic library. So not just, you might think it's all about collecting data and working with the academic libraries, but we work with public libraries as well. We work with historical societies. We have content from museums. We have content from state agencies. And it's been wonderful working with all of us. So, when I explain to people, like my elevator pitch right now is, it's like going to Google for historical content, historic content, and national cultural heritage content. And that's what we are. We serve it all up, and we put it up on a portal, so you can go to a centralized place and do your searches over there. And of course, again, it is because of our partners that we get to do this wonderful work. And then we, of course, connect up into DPLA. So what we do with you over here, DPLA does with us. And we have more information about our partners on our website if you are interested in learning more. All right, so governance. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about who our governing body members are right now, but I'm going to give you a bit of a summary. So we have 13 members all in all. 3 are non-Utah Academic Library Consortium members that get to vote, so voting repository members, and they have 2-year terms. They're assigned for 2-year terms, and then we have 2 collection partners, voting representatives, so not the hub members. They also have 2-year terms, and then we have 1 voting representative from the Marriott Library as the host institution. And then we have 5 voting representatives that are actually members of the Utah Academic Library Consortium, and their terms are staggered from 2 and 3 years. And then we have 2 non-voting ex officio members, and that's myself, the director of the Mountain West Digital Library, and then also the fiscal officer for MWDL, or the budget director for the Marriott Library. And we right now have some vacancies because people have moved from their positions. There are some terms that are expiring and ending, so we are trying to get our next meeting scheduled on our calendars, and we actually have at least a couple of our governing body members right now. Show of hands. Let's see. All right, we have 3. UNR, UNLV, and Faust Library. Okay, so our current membership status, if you are interested, so we are at 17 hubs right now. We actually lost 1, which was Utah Arts and Museums under the umbrella of DHA. We actually never had any content harvested from them to begin with, and they also did not have any personnel at this time with them that could actually work with us to do the audits. And they're just kind of watching to see if they have resources and what they want to do in the future. But right now, our membership looks like this. So we have Weber State University, University of Utah, Utah State University, Boise State University, Idaho Commission for Libraries, BYU, Salt Lake Community College, UNR, that's University of Nevada, Reno, Utah Valley University, Southern Utah University, University of Nevada, Las Vegas, Utah State Archives, Utah State Library, Oregon Digital, which consists of a joint effort between Oregon State University and University of Oregon. Thank you very much. Buffalo Bill Center in Arizona. And then we have 2 sort of second repositories from the University of Utah and Utah State University for our finding aid collections. So that is what our structure looks like for our hubs. It's been wonderful to work with them and to collaborate with them. So we are really big on, partner engagement. When I first started at Mountain West Digital Library, I was like, oh boy, there's so much to do, and how many people do we have on our team? At that time, it was Anna, who was trying to train me, and then it was me, and then Anna left, and it was me. and I was used to, I came from a place where we had a really large team that Jeremy now oversees. And I thought I had access, it was wonderful, I had access to all these resources for, the digitization center. People could do some metadata, and people who could, curate even a little bit, and do post-processing, and I could just ask Matt Brunswick, hey, make this happen, and he really did make it happen. So this was different, and I remember being on a call with our partners. I kind of tried to go in and talk to most of them. I also sort of had a call out that if there's a partner that would actually like to have a one-on-one phone call with me, and I have missed them, if they want to just contact me and let me know, and I'd have that conversation with them. But I remember talking to Corey Lampert and sort of talking about this, and Corey said, Kinza, just remember that your Mountain West Digital Library community is also your work team. Put us to use. We love to be engaged. We want to feel like we're truly engaged in this partner collaboration. And partnership does not just mean that you are doing things and you are letting us know what to do. We have to do this together. So it was actually, I just always remember that, and I call upon Corey fairly often. I call upon Anna still. I call upon Jeremy. So you're going to be often hearing from me, asking you to, Catherine, of course. Catherine's looking at me going, I've done so much outreach for Mountain West Digital Library. We've had people sit on the search committee for the metadata librarian position. We have people in this room who have done that. So it's actually been really wonderful to make sure that we are engaging with our community. And earlier this year in April, I was at the DPLA network meeting. And one of the things that was interesting when we had a session where all the hubs got together and said, okay, what does your governance look like, and what is working for you, and what is not working for you? And everybody was talking about how is it like being a very lean organization? And one of the things that came up over and over again was it would be so great if we had the bandwidth. We were just so knee-deep in just doing the operational stuff every day, and doing the governance stuff, and we really don't have time to call all of our members in for in-person meetings. And I said, wow, I feel so good. We already do that. That's great. And I think we've been doing more and more every year. And I think one of the reasons is that Sandra McIntyre set a really great format, and it was easy enough for me to follow. But it's been wonderful just all this, having this group come in and hearing from them. And I think email collaboration is great, but this just face-to-face collaboration means something very different. So we try to have a meeting, in-person meeting, once a year. So we're calling that a conference. It's going to be a 2-day thing every year. So the first day is the hubs only meeting, and the second day we're trying to open this up to the community every year. We're going to see how this goes, which will be open to anyone in the community that's interested in learning about digitization, the future of digital libraries, and workflows and best practices. We also try to have semi-annual meetings, and the interest of sort of time and money, not having to travel, asking our partners to travel that much. We're hosting that semi-annual meeting now virtually using the Zoom teleconference platform that John Bracken was presenting on. And then we have small working groups that actually meet year-round. We talk about what are the needs, what is it that we want to learn more about. So, okay, digital preservation is a topic. So we have a small working group working on that. Then, we have people working on what about standards for bulk digitization? How do we handle metadata for that? And we have people working on that. And then we also have, our outreach person, Catherine McIntyre, but she really engages the community every time there is a need to represent Mountain West Digital Library at a conference, especially a local conference. She sends out a doodle poll to all of our members and says, hey, please help me out if you can cover these times at, let's say, Roots Tech. We want to really let people know about what we do, because if you don't tell them, they may not hear about us. And it was interesting, last year at Roots Tech, when we had a table, people were just asking us, what is Mountain West Digital Library? And some people had heard about DPLA, but this year, we had so many people know about us. We had a shout out, a couple of presentations during Roots Tech about Mountain West Digital Library. Through that engagement, we have been invited to participate in presentations, and we have been invited to be interviewed for family history blogs and other local blogs, and also we've had a spot on TV. So we were just aired on Contact with Mary Dixon. It's through KUED. It's a PBS show, and it's like 2 or 3 minutes. But the good thing about it is it's between programs, so the viewership is pretty high. So through that kind of publicity and engagement, we've been getting a lot more feedback, and I know people are using our collections and our content because I'm getting a lot more questions. So it's been wonderful. All right, so outreach and promotion, a little bit more about that. So this is Catherine. She is at, Catherine, what conference was this at?
That was the Utah Conference of Social Studies.
Utah Conference.
Aimed at elementary, junior high, or middle school and high school teachers of social studies, librarians, student teachers. Yeah, so that.
All right. Well, thank you. There's so many conferences that Catherine represents us at that I actually sometimes don't remember until I actually see the statistics, or especially when I see the photos. But so what we've been doing is we have been working on creating some promotional material. We've created some bookmarks that we've been handing out at meetings and, of course, at conferences, and Catherine's been helping us with that. We've created this tablecloth, which looks like a simple project, but it actually took many months to get this right and calibrated, and we needed to get the permission from our partners. But I feel like it's a great way to sort of carry almost a poster even when you're traveling in a plane. It's easy and portable. We also have a presence on social media. We have been really updating our blog, which is the mwdlnews.blogspot.com. So if you wanted to know about any upcoming events, or if you wanted to hear any cool things that were going on, and new collections we've added, or any information about our partners, you can visit our blog and see what's going on there. We have a hashtag for Instagram and social media, and we have always had presence on social media, but I think now it's kind of more ramped up, and we are getting hits and likes and tweets, and so it's all good. All right. And another thing that we've noticed, which is interesting, so when you go to these big conferences, and if you have a table, like even at ALA Midwinter last year, you see these, I mean, you're comparing yourself to all of these elaborate, setups and these vendors, and I'm almost out of time, but when people realize we're a free resource, they're just amazed. There's no login required, there's no charge to access this resource, and so it's all because of all the work that we're doing together. All right, so MWDL and DPLA. I'm not going to talk too much about this because we heard a lot from John Bracken, but really what's been really good is that since DPLA has launched their formal membership program, and we actually signed that in actually beginning of, or late last year, which means they moved to their own membership model, and they now have a board, and they have governance, and they have their own membership dues. But there has been a lot more engagement, I feel, and as John and Michael were talking about the analytics feature that they have, it's really great. You can see in real time what's going on, what the activity is like on your collections. And we're a member of their network council, and Teresa's also serving on the Mountain West Digital Library the DPLA metadata task force. So that's going to be really good. We have a new website. It is really cool, and I talked about this a little bit earlier, but John Wiggins is going to go into more detail about this later on in the day during the snapshot session. We launched that in April of this year, I believe. So how to get involved? If you're interested, please let us know. We would love for your engagement. If you're going to a conference and you want to just hand out a flyer, if you send us an email, I can actually mail some flyers to you or brochures that you can pass out, because we can't physically always be at every conference. Also, we have tried to make it easier. We have a resource page off our website where you can actually print the flyers and the bookmarks, and there's some printing instructions on how to make that easier. So, collection statistics. Again, John's going to be talking about this more later on, but we have started to email out the collection activity to the hub managers once a month. So if you have a question about how your collections are doing, please contact your hub. Again, it's a community effort. We can't do this without you, and we are so thankful for you just being here today and always being so engaging and so warm and welcoming. So thank you so much. Yep.